Hi guys, and welcome to your weeklies. Congrats to Pisces, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Sagittarius. Please check my website for the current specials and take advantage of them. I'm open for the readings. Also try to find me on the Facebook, and that way you can get immediate answer. Hi Sagis, and congratulations on winning bronze. You are keeping in the winner's circle lately, and I'm glad to see it because I'm actually really interested in your story, and let's see how the story revolves this week. Before we start, let me just give you a quick announcement that this is now for 2 weeks instead of for one, because the next week the monthlies are coming, because my monthlies are not first of the month. My monthlies are with the solar change. So basically when Pisces will go into Aries, which is going to be really good for you Saggies, then I have actually monthly readings around the 20th of the month. And basically the signs who did it really aggressively pursue it are going to get it even sooner. And then I have around the first sort of like review and reading on problematic couples and on exes, so kind of like double, basically monthly, that I have. So let's go right into your 2 weeks then, and let's see how basically this works. It's going to be interesting because I pre-shuffled the cards not to waste time, like another minute or two. I prefer to give you like my updates, and please subscribe to my Facebook and get me there. You can get me through Hangouts. I'm becoming a little bit better with this social media. So as I pre-shuffled and I looked at the cards, I had a few jumpers, and it kind of like was interesting. So let's go with what was on the bottom of the deck. You had Sky Queen over here. So Sky Queen is the overall energy. Sky Queen, meaning going forward, understanding, learning the lesson, being able to apply the lesson to yourself. And this is coupled with trust. And this kind of is similar. It kind of like it's learning to trust yourself and your decision. And even when you're left in the cold, like you're still able to get forward. What was really interesting that few cards jumped with this one out. And few cards jumped with this one out. So these are the cards that jumped out with it. So I'm going to introduce all of them. Finances and career. I'm wondering if some of you are switching jobs, getting promotions, looking for additional income. It says financial issues are a factor in your love life right now, or maybe you're not charging ahead because you don't feel financially stable, which kind of would be silly because you actually do have a true love or somebody you consider true love, and so much so that you're willing to consider a wedding. And this is the person you know from the past, somebody maybe even from the childhood. So this is like really literally, isn't this what they tell you to kind of look for in a partner? Trust, financial security, true love, kind of like make it official, and kind of like find something that is kind of a ground that it can kind of guide you. So let's see how this actually guides us through it. Oh yeah, you had like another set of jumpers, but that was like jumping on this card. So when we get here, we are going to revisit this as well. So what's happening this week, Sagis? You are coming into this week as a starting point, and you had some rough times too. Deception. I was just about to say previously, it was lots of deception coming in your readings, and it was very unclear if it was you, Sagittarius, happening. And like somebody did give me shit for this. Don't say it is the Sagittarius are doing them. My apologies, sweetie. I'm reading because I'm reading all the Sagittarius that are actually subscribers and that's coming to see this channel, as well as all their partners. So it is very hard for me to say what it is, but it's the best to cover everything. Because look, you get two cards of deceptions, right? So look at this. Which one are you? Like, are you the birdie that can become a hunt? Are you the little kind of like mouse that became kind of like a hunt? Are you the kitty that kind of like your basically prey has been stolen? Or are you the thief, right? And this came reversed. So the interesting part about that, this deception doesn't have to be by the other people. It can be self-deception. And sometimes you don't even know that you're deceiving yourself. And that's, I think, Saggy, your problem. Because from all the comments that I'm reading, and I'm reading them all, so thank you very much for your comments, because when you give it to me, I actually put it in my diary. And this is how I learned tarot. I learned tarot on my own, basically, skin. I would ask questions to tarot, and I would review how the day went, and then I would realize what each card means. So now I'm doing this on a little bit kind of like mass level. So this is why it is really important for me that you give me your feedback so I can actually accumulate those experiences as well. For example, one lady said that she sees Three of Swords reversed as forgiveness. I have never seen it before, but I'll definitely keep my eyes open to that interpretation as well in the future. So my interpretation generally with this card is asking for forgiveness and deception together would mean, I would interpret that as you'll forgive yourself. You maybe will learn or find out where deception took place or why deception took place. It could be both, the other people and you. And here we go. Hi, Jeffy. Hi, Jeffy. Isn't this nice to be a cat? You just go anywhere. You can lift your head, do whatever you want. Right, Zach? Do you love Sagis? Do you love Sagis? Yes, 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 you do. You're such a pretty kitty. But you have one kitty too many on the table, okay? Yet. Here you go. Here you go. Yet. So that's the boss. So, I have to acknowledge the boss. So this is basically saying to me that there was both from the outside and inside this deception, right? And you see this is the third person, as you can see it here. Some of you were breaking up relationships, and it is possible that you wanted to be honorable in how you do it, but your methods were maybe suspicious to the other people. And sometimes, unconditional trust is not possible because we have been burned. We don't come, maybe we come to life as this proverbial fool in tarot, but we don't stay in that level. We kind of move on, and we get weather on our skin, and we kind of get burned, and we kind of swim in the ocean of love. But we kind of start being cautious as we get older. And sometimes we deceive ourselves. Sometimes people just don't look at things from the other person's perspective. Sometimes you feel you're wrong where the other person who is also feeling wrong. So where is the truth, right? So that's what I'm saying. Hi, Shafi. Did they not just get rid of you? Did they just not get rid of you? Huh? What's the verdict? What? What? Jeffy, can you go down, please? Jeffy. I have to show you a proper picture of that nuisance. So, I hope I'm going to finish this because it looks like she's very much into it and she's making a point. And this kitty, she understands what I'm talking about. I swear to you, I can have conversation. Yes is when she meows, no is when she says nothing. So back to this. You guys, in short, let me just be blunt with you. I think that you wanted to deal with something in a very honorable way, but your partner maybe didn't feel this way, or the other way around. You were with someone who maybe thought he or she is doing that in a kind of honorable way, but it was just too much for you to handle, right? The pressure was on, and you were saying, or they were saying, I cannot handle it. Cannot handle it. Yes, you should, but those shoulds in relationships never work, right? Because you see, this deception is crossed with romantic feelings and with some kind of consensus, looking for consensus. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. And what you're hearing is like my cat ripping up my really expensive chairs, visiting us. So this basically means that you kind of like debated if this, you know, is the good for you, what is good for you. You were like taking time, making decision. Maybe that was the problem. Not everybody works on the same timeline, but one thing is for sure, that you do have these romantic feelings for the person that you feel that deceived you. And yet on the other hand, like for the same person, you feel you have this feeling of trust. You have this feeling that this person is the true love. You have the wedding. You know this person, and hence it's really hard for you to try to put things together. Why does that happen, right? So let's go to this card that kind of like have a whole bunch of jumpers and see what it is, and maybe Kitty kind of like allows us a little bit room to breathe. So what did you bring to this week? You brought flirt and Four of Sky. It's kind of very hard to flirt, I would say, when you are here. No wonder that we got 4 jumpers, right? So, Sagittarius, you always flirt. You are like in my opinion, you are the flirt of the zodiac, right? And this is so not like you. And this happens when, yes, when you're deceived, when you don't feel right, when somebody hurts you. And look, this little kitty cover the eyes with a paw, kind of leave me alone. I need this energy. But look, it's in the sea of lavender, and it's like this ultimate energy of the higher spiritual force that is coming to you. You're going to get, you see, there is like, wind. You're going to get a guidance which way to go, and you just have to kind of go through it. So now let's see the jumpers, and jumpers were really interesting. I did peek. Yes, look, you have Ace of Fire. You have the Floating Cat reversed. You have the Tower. And you have 3 of Earth. Check it out. You have 2 majors, an Ace, who is like half major. And you have third party. So now I can actually interpret it. Like, you see how tarot is like really good at that? It gives you something that is seemingly opposite, and then you get clarification, and you can see it was lots of passion, but somebody failed to see things from a different person's perspective, and hence it came as a shock to you, because you guys or the other person felt like that they're doing nothing wrong, possibly, and then maybe you didn't feel this way, and you just pulled a rug under their feet and said, like, the game is over. I'm not part of that. You have to get rid of this third person, if that was a 3-party, or we have to commit on the terms that are good for both of us. So that was basically what you're bringing to this week. What basically was lesson from the last 2 weeks is basically staying optimistic about your love life, positive thinking, and faith will bring you romance. Actually, like the other signs got this as well. So 3 of Fire, it is also like your sign, Sagittarius, like, right, fire sign, where you had a fire sign here in your base. Now you have a fire sign. Now you had a fire sign. So your fire is coming back, because for a while you were dealing with water energy, which is not the energy that is good for you and you cannot handle. But it looks like maybe your ex-partner had a water sign, or it had this exhibiting characteristics of being emotional, slower energy, where your energy is faster. And so now you were just about to get ready. Kind of like you were healing your pain, and you had to get optimistic. You had to get out of this stage where you were for a long, long time. It was depression, and then you would flirt, and that would make you even more depressed, because you realize it's not fulfilling. You don't have the one you want. And now it's saying that you were just about to embark on a new kind of like journey. Look at a kitty is actually ready to jump. One paw is already in the air and looking up. Looking up is always a good metaphor, right? So what is the lesson for these 2 weeks? Very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Yeah, I think it's very important, because I think this is like part of knowing what you don't want and knowing what you do want, you have to know both, right? So just dealing with things like with putting your head, in the ground is not productive, because look what happens. Somebody made a decision for you, it seems like. And then you get shocked and you have this tower and the cats are flying all over the place and you don't know why this disturbance is happening, right? Well, tower is nothing really that dramatic as the readers want to tell you, but literally when you're blindsided. This is your blind spot. Oh, by the way, it's going to be a new reading that I'll have about soulmates and what kind of issues the signs have to look for, and the kind of blind spot is going to be included in that. So basically that's going to go every 10 days. You're going to have one big monthly. So one is going to be about the soulmates, one is going to be about the exes, and one is going to be general monthly readings. So you will get your fix. And so basically what is happening here is seeking reversed. So this was the ultimate romantic person who turned, well, I like my liquor and I'm kind of lazy, I really don't want to do it. So very soon you're delaying this, and you're maybe delaying because you're not ready, but a card just saying you're ready, or card just saying, you know what, you have to decide what you want so it comes to you, because right now this is basically negative energy. Anything that is not positive is right now negative, because this was stagnant and this is even a slightly negative. It's a king that is not in control of his kingdom. It's a king that is falling in the water, that is kind of losing its kingdom while he's kind of going through parties with the people, or maybe you're sad, maybe you kind of are losing yourself in these thoughts. This can show all kinds of things. Sometimes those court cards show people, but sometimes they show just the feelings altogether. And this is a feeling of, I would love to be fulfilled. I would love to feel deeply, because look at those cards that you had, right? You want this deep feelings for someone, but you just kind of don't think that you can have them. And this tells you, yes, you can have them, but you have to clear it out and you have to decide what you want. And decision is half of the thing. At least you know where you're going, right? On the map, you can pinpoint that goal. So you see, part of that thing is separating. You looks like are separating for quite a while. It's like a band-aid, pulling it. It's like, oh my God, it's so hard. You guys don't want to let it go. Actually, you do want to let it go. It's kind of funny. I think always for Saggies, I did see letting it go until today. Now I see that you don't want to let it go. For some reason, you're connected to your ex-partner. You're connected to the energy of your past. And maybe this wedding that you had over there means that you're actually married right now, and that right now it's very hard for you to let go. I don't see the cards here that support so much that you are deeply in love with the person, because I see lots of energy of the playfulness and going ahead. Hi Sophie. Yeah. Do you love Saggies? How much? Are you going to have a happy month? Sorry, Sagittarius, you want. So, and I guess anybody that goes through separation, of course, that's not the happiest part of your life. So, try to distract yourself. That's what I do when I'm sad. I actually appear to the people I was very happy, because I just don't want to be alone with my pain. And I suggest the same thing to you, actually, because you know what? It would be nice to look, with pride, the world that you created. But right now, your world is falling apart. And it might be a good thing. Right now, you know it might be a good thing, but right now you're still suffering. So let's see how you see yourself. See, you see yourself as somebody who did make this decision. So you are the one leaving this person. Whether you call it I'm leaving, or you were forced into making this decision, or even if, I think you were the ultimately one who said, I cannot do this anymore. And kind of how everything started, because you're intuitively feeling that the life is short and that you have to you have to at least try to find that happiness. It says worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So, right, it's the beginning of the journey. Like, I mean, literally how you're going to feel by the end of the month. And this is Venus retrograde that kind of sends you this energy, kind of revisit your old relationship, revisit what you want. And it's kind of like difficult energy, right? Especially if you're married to someone, especially if you're in a long-term relationship. It's kind of really difficult to handle because the breakups are hard. But I think in your case, you made this decision to move over and move on. So this is your environment and your feelings. You see, you're willing to keep an open mind. And it says your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. And could be just a pure, like, basically luck running into this person. And this is pretty much you, Saggies. Like, I mean, I think your sign is like the one that is a lucky one. But you're not lucky when you get into this mood. You're not lucky when you cannot make a quick and charging decision. You're spending too much time here negotiating your decision. Well, if it's a breakup, if you have children, I understand that you want to make everybody happy, but what if ultimately you make everybody unhappy? Did you consider that that can be a possibility? And that could be the whole issue. You were trying to maybe, it's like when I hear like on television, oh, we're going to have something for everybody. I right away know I'm not going to watch that show because something for everybody means I'm going to have 2 minutes for me and everything else is going to be boring or I'm not going to like it. So I prefer to have something for me, and I guess the shows have to learn that way. And this is basically you. When you go in charge and you find your happiness, and you don't have to hurt other people because you're looking for your happiness. Well, if you're narcissistic, it's a different story, but we are talking being fair is important. But even in fairness, things will go up and down because you see the kitty spinning this little wheel, and you do know it's going to go up and down all the time, right? So keep in mind that different people can actually bring you really, really happiness, right? So fears and hopes. You have more fears than hopes. You have fear that love is not in your future. It says there is not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Well, this is talking about the relationship that is still somehow lingering here, or even if a relationship is not alive, there is like a leftover, that is karmic leftover that you have to shave in order to move ahead. And that whole leftover or that relationship it keeps you out of balance. You don't know what is up and down. You know how to ground yourself. You just like feel kind of like it wrecked your life, put you out of your roots. So, but look, you are coming around. You are understanding that it's maybe time to acknowledge good things. So if you have children into this, or if you meet somebody new, like at the same time while you're like kind of like working on all these relationships, it still doesn't mean that you cannot express your love. But for some reason, because the cards are kind of conflicting, and we are going to clarify that you are the in the circle of winners. You get to get the full thing, this full blast this week. So yeah, keep subscribing and upvoting to get it again. I somehow have a feeling that there are two people, even though I didn't have confirmation other than here. Well, that's a confirmation in the present, actually. That could be a three-party relationship, because on one hand it tells you deception and it tells you separation, right? And it tells you like wedding was reversed right here. But on the other hand, it tells you true love and trust and express your love. So, and it's like combined with Fire Tom. It's like this proverbial kind of flirt, and that's, you had flirt as well. And flirt was accompanied with charge passionately, look at things from a different perspective, and tower, and get rid of the third. 3 is a crowd. So basically what happened here, it's seemingly what happened was you were trying to be really fair, and you ended up being unfair toward everybody. You end up kind of like having this feeling that other people think that you're deceptive. You're deceiving everybody. And now you have to give apologies to everybody. And I think this is what this is all saying. Go and apologize and tell the truth. Speak your truth, please. Saggy, speak your truth and set yourself free. You kind of healed mostly. You are ready to go ahead, but you still have the leftovers of this tower. And this tower is definitely in regards to relationship that kind of cost you a lot. It was a big, big price, but somehow you still managed to deal it mostly gracefully, because this is like a really graceful queen that kind of goes for solutions. You see, maybe that's the problem, because that was the underlying. It's also a queen who can be, you see, sky energy is really hard, and it's really hard to handle. So like sky energy would be like a rocket energy. Then it's the strongest and fastest and the most abrupt energy. It's like takes enormous amount of power. You get from A to B really, really quickly, but you don't see much what's going around. You have to have a really good focus in order not to kind of go left or right, because you can just destroy yourself. Then the second strongest energy is your energy, Sagittarius. Fire is a really strong energy. So fire would be, let's say, airplanes. They're also going from place to places. Now you can see something around. There is some kind of vision. You're not in darkness. You're not blindly going and trusting. You're kind of like having ability of observing, but you're still moving very fast, and you cannot kind of like have this tactile experience. Then we get to pentacles that have this earthy feeling, where not only that you can stop in every kind of like the road restaurant, but you can check the country and you can smell the smells, you can hear the birds. And then we have water, basically transportation and submarines and on water and all these animals and engagement with kind of like different species and different world, interacting with different kind of elements, kind of. You see, so this energy, it is kind of energy that is compatible with your energy, especially these two cards coming together. That means to me that you're going to have the fire born inside of you. Fire kind of did die for you, and fire is coming back, and that's who you are, guys. You're fire, and the air makes this fire go bigger. So if you have somebody who is an air sign, these people are good to have around, or like people who exhibit sort of like intellectual capabilities, who like to test your head, and that's how they're going to get you out. Because right now you're still lingering in that water energy. You're in the ocean, and like, come on, you wanna kind of put your little fire and enjoy it, and kind of really hard to do it in the middle of the ocean. So trust this kind of guidance of, even if that's you, trust this charging ahead. But please close. This is what you have to deal with. And that's literally right here. By, looks like 21st of this month, you will literally either call it quits or sign the papers. It's a major arcana, guys. This is not something you can play with. So, Sagis, should we clarify anything, actually, while looking at it, because you're getting extended reading? And your reading was the most complicated of all. Well, let's see the separation, and let's see this world here. And another thing I kind of like want to see, you have unrequited love. On the other hand, like you have separation, right? So that's kind of, okay, could that be the same person? But then you have true love. Okay, could still this be the same separation? But then like you have deception and, flirt, and yeah, I think they're definitely two different people. And actually, both people could be from your past, funny enough. Could be like, that when you made your choice in the past, I don't know, maybe you know both people from the past, and one kind of like just peaked and you ended up with this person. And now the second person is speaking, and you're realizing maybe this is where you made a choice, or kind of it's a question, and you're trying to make everybody happy, but it is what it is. Okay, so please confirm for me. Hello, Shafi. Let's confirm actually the separation. I want to see the separation and and the world reversed for Saggies. What is behind it? How Saggy, what's behind it? What's behind it? Okay. Separation, it's despair reversed. It's cheerfulness reversed and foe. Yeah, definitely third party situation over here. This was jealousy. This is a third person who basically participated in a situation for two people who is an enemy. So you guys are separating because either the person you were with had somebody else or you want to be with someone else. So if it's you, then please finish this gracefully. Finish this by telling the truth. Do not play this strategy that you had so far because the strategy was not very effective. And let's see, unrequited love. I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing this properly for some reason. Let's see, who is this? Who is this? Are you marrying this or divorcing this person, or this is a new person? Or you want to get someone who doesn't want you? What's up with that? We have room, we have melancholy, and we have servant reversed. This could be you. This can be you again, like a world, feeling your world is upside down and feeling depressed. And it's somebody you have been very intimate with. So it's not really somebody, so it is somebody you have been with before. And that took you completely out of balance. And I want to see, okay, let's see, express your love. To whom do you guys need to express your love? Is this a three-party situation? And do we need to let go of one partner? Okay, now I did squeeze lots of questions in here, but let's see what comes out. And now you're going to see what kind of mishmash you get in tarot when you confuse tarot. Okay, one was a jumper. Yes, it was a third-party situation. Yes, somebody is sights, somebody's sad, somebody's ship sailed away, somebody's rose has fallen, absolutely third-party situation. And you're leaving somebody or somebody left you. But it's looking in the past. And Sagittarius, I'm available for private readings. When you do the private readings, the energy is just yours. This is the energy of, like, thousands of people that are on this channel. And yeah, I have a special. It usually used to be 20 minutes for $30, and now it's like $30 for 30 minutes. So take advantage of it. So what do we have? Sights and widower and gift. So yeah, this means close something and acknowledge. I think this is expressing your love to you. You have to acknowledge that what you have been through. Yeah, this is definitely it. Now I can see it. Because this is you, Sagittarius. This is you charging ahead. But you're not really yet ready to fully charge ahead because you have to mourn what you have. See, this is divorce or breakup. This is sort of like understanding it is over. Whether you kind of like really knew that this had to be over, or you didn't, kind of like you came to this realization that has to be buried. And there's like no, like this is like no fruit bearing tree anymore. And you have to come to be yourself because this was not productive anyway for you. Even though you wanted to make it work and you were committed and loyal, this was not what was working and wouldn't work. Sagittarius, altogether, I think it's really good because you are healing. You are getting tower when so just remember this. You go like this, you put your head in sand, you're going to get this. Somebody's going to shake you like a salt shaker. So just remember, this is what happens with three-party. My suggestion is come out clean, tell everybody complete truth, maybe gather all the parties, let them ask the questions. It's going to be it will suck to be you, but you're going to come out like this, right? You'll have to dance around the fire and you have to speak your truth and kind of clarify that if that's you, that you're not the bad guy. If it's somebody else doing it to you, request this kind of conversation to really know where you are, because you did have here trust, that you have to build somebody's trust. So this is a good way. And when you're building trust, you have to be extremely transparent. No other way would work. Saggies, so next week is going to be monthly. And in the meantime, either get the reading or check the dailies or write to me. Put a note over there. I want to see how this is happening and evolving for you. And until the next time, I love you.